Hi everyone! When I was growing up, my parents owned a sandwich shop in Philadelphia and they sold things like cheesesteaks and hoagies and hamburgers and pizza, and the typical Philly foods are cheesesteaks and hoagies. Now if you don't know what a hoagie is, some places call them submarines, some call them heroes sandwiches. They're all made on a torpedo roll, which is this, which is shaped like a torpedo. And I'm going to show you how to build an Italian hoagie. There are all kinds of hoagies. My dad used to sell American hoagies, Italian hoagies, turkey hoagies, roast beef hoagies, cheese hoagies, tuna hoagies, but my favorite were the Italian hoagies. It uses some salami and some gabagool, as they would say, which is capicola, just if you want to pronounce it properly. But they're really fun sandwiches, and now that my parents don't have that store anymore, when I buy them out, I kind of see that people assemble them in a different way than my dad did, and I thought my dad's way of making them was really logical, and it made for a nice sandwich that was well-rounded. Because sometimes you find them in the stores and they put all the meat down first and then they put the lettuce and tomato on top. And then when you fold the sandwich over, you know, when you bite the sandwich this way, you kind of can't fit your mouth around the whole thing, you know, so you kind of have to go back and forth. And when the sandwich is built incorrectly, you kind of get meat on this side and veg on this side, to where I'll show you the way my dad used to build it so that it's kind of even throughout, so when you eat it, it's just a better dining experience. So come on, I'll show you how to make it. First thing I'm going to show you is how to cut a roll. So when you have a torpedo roll, they kind of usually have a straight edge and a more rounded edge. You want to keep the straight edge intact, and you're going to cut along the rounded edge. So I'm just going to cut part way through here and then open it up like a book. Now when preparing the ingredients, you want them to be chunky. So this is a white onion, just cut up in chunks, and this is iceberg lettuce. Iceberg lettuce works best for this, and I just kind of pull it apart into chunks. You don't want to have big sheets of lettuce, and you don't want to shred it. Sometimes when you get a sandwich out, they shred the lettuce, and it's kind of like Easter basket grass. I really don't like the texture of that when you're eating it. So you want things chunky. Now the same thing with the tomato. A lot of times people will slice a tomato this way, and that doesn't really work for a sandwich on a torpedo roll. So if you had a round roll, like a hamburger roll or a Kaiser roll, a sliced tomato works great. But I'm cutting them into big chunks like this, and I'll show you. I just take a knife and I just do this. Actually, in my family, we've ended up calling this hoagieing the tomato, because this is the way you cut a tomato for a hoagie. You have to think about what kind of chunks of vegetables you want to encounter in your mouth when you're eating the sandwich, and you want it to be able to fold over nicely as well. These are the meats we're using. We have salami. Now this is called hard salami. We have sliced provolone cheese, and we have capicola, or as some people say, gabagool. I want to talk to you just for a second about the meats that we're using. Now there's not a lot of red meat eaten on the Mediterranean diet, and definitely not a lot of deli meats or luncheon meats as we call them. But everything in moderation. It is okay once in a while. So if you think of a classic charcuterie plate, it's made up of sliced ham and things like that, with cheeses and things. So if you eat it once in a while, if you're eating healthy all the time, it's okay to eat the deli meats once in a while. We're not going to use a lot of them on this sandwich, so maybe once a month or so is okay. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is add some lettuce. That's our first layer. Then we're going to add the salami. So it's up to you how much salami you want to put on. I'm just putting a thin layer. And now we're going to go back and put more lettuce. We're going to use our chunky tomatoes. The chunky onions. I like a lot of onions, so use them at your discretion. Then the next thing you want to do is season this. So I'm going to take a little bit of salt, some dried oregano. Oregano is an important step. And a little bit of olive oil. She says a little bit, right? Ha ha ha. Okay, now that that is seasoned, we're going to add provolone cheese. Now you don't need to put a lot of this because everything's going to get kind of folded over, so it'll be doubled. And then we top everything off with the spicy ham, the capicola. I'm gonna put 3 slices of that. And then you can just take a knife, push everything in, so you can close the roll. And there you have your Italian hoagie. So if you look at it this way, there's lettuce on this side, there's lettuce on this side, there's meat all the way through, so you get a nice well-rounded sandwich. I'm gonna cut it in half so you can see better. There you go. There's your Italian hoagie. Cherry peppers go really well with an Italian hoagie. I like the red ones. You can buy these sliced, diced, or whole. It's kind of fun to have the whole ones though. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make an Italian hoagie, and I hope you make one for yourself. I think you'll really enjoy it. Please share this video with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, give me a thumbs up, do all the things you're supposed to do, and I will see you next time. Bye!